It would have probably helped if I had added myself to the stage. What's going on, everybody? Hope everybody's having a good night. Amit is off doing Amit things. He'll be here in a few minutes. He texted me a while ago, said he was headed out for a little bit, so I'm sure he is on his way. Did we ever have a shocking day today? I can't really say I was shocked. I think a lot of people were shocked about Apple. Where did Apple finish today? Let's see. You know what? We'll bring up. Gotta give Chris credit. I didn't think that I'd like it, but I gotta tell you, the Webull desktop app is pretty freaking nice. Let's bring it to the stage. I put together a bunch of bullet points. Went through the conference calls after my work call, and we're gonna get into it. So let's see. I think that this is a big shock to people that Amazon crushed. And, well, not really Amazon, but Apple. 277 after hours. Gotta love it. They hit over 280 at one point. It was down and then it was up. Amazon, I mean, that's amazing. It's up 13% after hours, up $30. Huge margin play. There he is. What's going on? Did you have fun on your little excursion?
On my excursion?
I don't know. You said you were going out for a little bit.
Oh, no, I just went for a walk. That's all.
Look at you being healthy. I'm glad you sit down all day.
Yeah, dude. I needed to freaking go for a walk today.
It's actually good weather. It rained all day, but it's actually decent weather in Jersey.
It was nice out. So everybody keep in mind, we're not financial advisors or investment professionals. We're just two nerds that do a lot of research. So please take everything with a grain of salt and do your own due diligence. Please remember that. So after my call that lasted an hour and 45 minutes, which I didn't think it was going to last that long a minute, I went through Amazon's earnings call and I caught up on Alphabet's earnings call. I got to tell you, I don't know which one I'm more bullish on at this point. Alphabet's earnings call was so incredible. Their freaking metrics are so incredible. I got to tell you, this was the biggest no-brainer.
Yeah, I mean, that's what we were saying on the stream, is that all of us kind of came together about a month and a half, I think early September, and we were just like, Amazon's down, the market's up. Even Google wasn't down, like Google was still up like 20%. Amazon was just negative, which didn't make sense. It's Amazon, right? And so trading at the lowest EV/EBITDA multiple, trading at its lowest PE, or at least over the past 5 years, lagging the NASDAQ. Like, it just makes sense to take a chance. And I think it paid off. I didn't know they would accelerate by 20%. I was expecting like 18.9%. I think that would have been enough. The fact that they did 20% on an absolute basis is way more than Microsoft and Google. So that growth rate really, really mattered.
Yeah. So which one do you want to start with? Do you want to start with Amazon or you want to start with Alphabet? I got some stuff to say about Meta. We can leave that for the end.
Let's do Google first. Start with Google.
All right. So I put together some charts. I actually made it easy for everybody. Put it in a PowerPoint, so I'm not flipping back and forth. So, absolutely phenomenal quarter. I'm going to go over some statistics real quick. These are the year-over-year metrics. Google search, and here's where I'm going to take a little bit of a victory lap. 14.54% year-over-year growth. They came in at 56.57 billion. They added 7.2 billion in Google search revenue. People kept telling me search is dead, search is dead, search is dead. And, well, dying companies and dying segments don't grow like this. Search is not being cannibalized. It was a ridiculous thing. Bless you. Ridiculous statement when Alphabet was at 120. It was a ridiculous statement when they were at 150. And it's a ridiculous statement now for anybody that wants to continue to say that. Time and time again, they continuously blow it out of the water. And I don't know when the bears are going to get it through their heads that a company that's generating over 50 billion in revenue from a business segment in 3 months knows what they're doing, and they're going to do whatever they have to do to protect that moat. So you got YouTube ads, which increased 15% year over year in Q3. Google Network down 2.5%. Google subscriptions up 21%. Google Cloud, now this is becoming the crown jewel, 33.5% year over year growth. They added 3.8 billion. They came in with 15.2 billion. And Amit, what was most astonishing to me when I look at Google Cloud, not just that they increased 34% year over year, operating income increased 85% to 3.6 billion. Operating margin expanded to 23.7%, but their backlog grew 46% quarter over quarter and 82% year over year to 155 billion. Like, what are we even talking about here? Your backlog on Google Cloud is 155 billion, and people want to say that AI is a bubble. How do you feel about that?
Well, I think that AI is not a bubble, obviously. I think Google Cloud backlog is tremendous, along with what Amazon said today, which we'll talk about. But they said their backlog, there's obviously more demand than supply. And as soon as they set up these data centers, they're immediately getting clients. Anthropic was the big one they mentioned to sign up for it. But I think the bigger thing here is just like all of these smaller data center plays that have made a lot of retail investors a lot of money. The big four, Meta, Microsoft, Google, and Amazon, basically confirmed that they're all legit. Now, I don't know how their stocks are going to perform over the next year, but they all have a reason to be in a narrative that allows them to expand to multiple, because all of these guys are compute constrained, not demand constrained. So, I mean, it feels very real, and it feels like it's not slowing down.
I agree with everything you just said. I mean, I don't know which ones are going to win out of those. I'm not smart enough to differentiate. I know Sam tried walking me through it. He was convincing, but I have a mental block. I'm sticking with the names that got me to the dance, and I'm not getting out of them. Maybe I take one of the other ones under my wing, but right now I'm sticking with Amazon, Alphabet, and Meta. And personally, I thought Grok was much better than Gemini a couple of months ago. And something happened where I feel like Grok has went downhill, and I pay for the bigger package on Alphabet because I need the additional space on Google Drive. And I started using Gemini. I got to tell you, I think it's really good. And the numbers out of Gemini, with the Gemini models processing 7 billion tokens per minute via direct API, the Gemini app has over 650 million monthly active users. And then the company is processing over 1.3 trillion quarterly and monthly tokens, reflecting 20x growth in a year. AI mode has over 75 million daily active users. And AI overviews scaled to over 2 billion users. To think that anybody is going to still sit on this sideline saying AI is a bubble, AI is not real, they're out of their minds. They're not doing the research.
No, I agree. I mean, Gemini, the 200 million new users in 30 days, pretty impressive. And yeah, I've not been using Grok as much either. I feel you. It's not been as effective as before.
I thought Grok was great. And for some reason, it just, now I don't use ChatGPT. I don't pay for it. So I can't, everything I'm saying is excluding them because I really don't use them. But I got to tell you, everything I use with Alphabet just works well. And the YouTube numbers are crazy.
Yeah.
So I got to tell you, if they increased YouTube Premium by $2 a month, nobody's getting rid of it. We haven't even factored in Waymo. I'm excited about Alphabet going forward.
No one's getting rid of Premium. If you
no,
like, I didn't have Premium when I was in college, and I think after I graduated, I upgraded, and I was like, how did I go through college without having Premium on?
So this is what I'm going to say. You don't need to have every streaming service, but if you find that you use a particular streaming service a lot, don't go out to eat once a month. Pay for freaking the Premium. You're never getting that time back with the ads.
Yeah.
And if you use it a lot, like I use YouTube the most out of any streaming service, except for when a new TV show comes on Amazon that I want to watch and I use it for like 8 hours or 6 hours. I use YouTube every day. From your streams to Tanner streams to Matt streams to when Cashflow Chronic is on. But when Compound and Friends is on or Animal Spirits, I mean, that's the stuff I listen to all in. And that's not on network TV.
I don't get people who don't use YouTube Premium. I mean, if you're on it all day, I just don't
Doesn't
feel like
make sense.
you can sit through the ads. Like,
It doesn't make sense. And I mean, they're just killing it. Absolutely killing it. I'm very happy to be a shareholder of Alphabet at this point.
oh, it was a great quarter. They crushed. They absolutely okay. Ad blockers. That's on the desktop though. Or do people have ad blockers on the like? You can't use an ad blocker on the YouTube app, right?
Yeah, I have no idea.
I don't know, dude. Like 14, 15 bucks a month to not have to worry about anything and just consume the content. But then again, you got to be a YouTube junkie. If you're not a YouTube junkie, then it doesn't work. But if you're on it all day, if this is the source of your content, which means basically you've got to like independent media, right? Because if you don't like independent media, then you're not going to care enough about YouTube. But if you do, and that's how you get your information, then I feel like it makes sense. Which is important because 300 million paid subscriptions. If they increase it by a couple of bucks, you're right. I mean, that's a lot of new money coming into the platform.
I mean, isn't that what everybody says about Costco? That, they can just raise their membership a couple bucks a month and make extra money. Well, same thing with freaking YouTube Premium and Amazon Prime. It's not proprietary to Costco.
Yeah, exactly. Steve, have you made me a mod in your chat?
Nah.
Can you do that right now?
Can you say something so I can mod you?
Hello. Okay. Oh yeah, I'm not a mod. Yeah, you gotta make me.
Yeah, you're not?
No, I'm not. I need the wrench.
It's all moving so quickly. How do I do it?
You just scroll up.
No, I got you, but
With the three dots.
yeah, it says
On YouTube, not StreamYard, YouTube.
Oh, that would be why. Hold on.
Steve, we're almost at 10K subs. What are we doing here?
Dude.
Come on now, buddy. What are we
doing? Not all of us.
What are we doing here?
Not all of us can be as good as you. That's all I got to say. All right, hold on.
Dude, they mentioned milk on the Amazon call for chassis.
No, they didn't.
Yeah, you were talking about the grocery items and the prices, and you were in your lawyer meeting, so no one you didn't hear it, but they were screaming milk in the chat.
Oh, you're modded. Yeah, today was a interesting day. I can't get into anything. It was just long meeting after work hours. So fun times.
All right, Amazon. Let's do Amazon.
Do me a favor. Give me your thoughts first. I'll give you a setup and then give me your thoughts and I'll run into mine. I'm trying to build something out real quick for you. But great quarter. North America up 11.23% year over year. International up 14% year over year. AWS up 20.23% year over year. Total net sales 180.17 billion, up 13.4% year over year. Operating income barely moving the needle, up $11 million, but that's okay. Cash from operations is the big thing.
The operating income is flat year over year.
Yeah.
The reason they beat on EPS, I just noticed, or I just read about it, they recognized the $9.4 billion gain on Anthropic and another startup they invested in. So just like Google had that SpaceX quarter.
Yep.
That's why they have the big EPS beat, which was good. But dude, even if they missed on EPS, I don't think it mattered. What mattered was AWS. That's the only
100%. And it goes back to one of the first things I ever told you. I like free cash flow because you can't manipulate it. And I'm not saying manipulate in a bad way, but when you realize an investment or you have one-time tax charges like what happened to Meta, your earnings and your income get distorted, whereas cash from operations minus capex is your free cash flow. It's cash in, cash out.
Yeah.
So that's where we're at. What did you think of the quarter? Why build this out? And I'm going to blow your mind with it.
I think, hold on. I gotta show you something. I got to show you something. All right. So I wonder if you recognize this when you hear it. Are you ready?
Do I need to?
No. I'm just gonna play it on my phone. I don't. Someone sent me this, and I wonder if you recognize this. That's all.
Freaking want the freaking but no, I want the freaking meat. I want to bite into it. I want the meat to explode in my mouth. No, yes. I want the freaking meat. I want to bite into it. I want the meat to explode in my mouth. Yeah, I want it fiery pink in the middle. When I take a bite, I want it to explode in my mouth. That's how a steak should be cooked.
Well, someone sent me that today, and I just,
Who sent that to you today?
Some person on Twitter.
Because that person is a very smart person.
I clicked on the video not knowing what I would expect. And then, this is what I hear. No, I want the freaking meat. I want to bite into it. I want the meat to explode in my mouth. No. Yeah, I mean, it's true. Why wouldn't you want a nice fiery pink steak? Oh, that's what you're talking about, steak?
Yeah.
Oh,
I was talking about steak.
I had no idea what you were talking about.
I'm pretty sure that was from freaking last night or Monday night with Chef.
I don't know. I just know I thought it was a deep fake of you. I didn't know. I just.
No, that sounds like something I would say, that I want to order it fiery pink center, and when I bite into it, I want it to explode in my mouth.
I think I missed the steak part. I guess I didn't hear the steak part.
You forget, I had Chef Paul on for a good 45 minutes or an hour.
Anyway, I just wanted to make sure you knew your fans are sending me clips of you.
Listen, I'd rather them sending you that than me do something where they rat me out to you, because your fans ratted you out, sir.
Bro, what is this Talladega Nights movie?
Dude, are you kidding me? You said something and everybody thought that you referenced Talladega Nights. If you're not first, you're last.
I definitely did not say if you're not first, you're last. I don't know when.
So they were saying that before. I mean, if you're not first, you're last.
Well, we had the Red Cat CEO on, and I asked him what is his favorite movie, and he was like Talladega Nights. And I was like, that's a classic. And then I realized I shouldn't lie about it. And I was like, but I haven't watched it.
Yeah, you should. Thank you.
And so I covered, and then he was like, yeah, and then I looked it up, like, oh, the Ballad of Ricky Bobby.
Yeah, you don't know Ricky Bobby?
Never heard
Shake
of
and Bake?
Never heard of this, ever.
Amit, Shake and Bake, baby.
Anyway, Amazon. So
Amazon.
Look, I did a daily recap episode a couple weeks ago, and there was a whole segment in that daily recap about Amazon becoming a cornerstone of the portfolio. And what I meant by that is, like, there's these certain stocks in a portfolio that you want to build as the cornerstone of how you manage your money. And for me, the two very public ones that have become cornerstones are obviously Palantir and Hood. I think what defines a cornerstone is a stock where you have there's a couple different ways to define it, but I think some variables associated with it are a stock you have an extremely low average on because you're extremely early. So if you got into Palantir sub $10 and you built it into a big position, or it's just naturally become a big position, that is now a cornerstone of your portfolio. Same thing with Rocket Lab, Hood, all these different companies that are out there that people have built into cornerstones, which means you're likely never selling it, or at least, you're going to hold it for a long time. And you don't really need to average up, but if you do, it doesn't even hurt your average because, there's such a big margin of safety. The other component to a cornerstone stock is a stock that you feel so convicted in, and it's so obvious, not from your conviction, but from the external perception of the company, that it almost becomes obvious for this to become a cornerstone. And the Mag 7 all can fit in that category. Like, can I make NVIDIA a cornerstone of the portfolio? Apple for many older people has been a cornerstone of their portfolio for the past decade. I think Amazon can easily become a cornerstone for the next 10 years for a lot of people. And I think over the past couple of weeks, down 15% from where it is today, a lot of people have had the opportunity to start developing that cornerstone. I doubt people have bought so much that it's become, the massive position. But if you've at least started to buy, like myself and so many other people, then I know, Steve, you've owned it for a long time, but if you've started to get interested over the past couple of months, I think it has the trajectory up until around that $300, $350 range where it could legitimately, get to that $600, $700 range, as you were talking about a while ago, into the 2035s, 2040s. And that becomes a cornerstone. And so you ask yourself, how does it become a cornerstone? Number one, it's Amazon. It's not going anywhere. It's freaking Amazon, right? Like, we're always going to use their products, always going to use their services. Number two, AI revolution. They're playing a massive role. advertising, Rufus, shopping, e-commerce, a bunch of other verticals they're getting into. Obviously, cloud, that's not going down. That's not slowing down at all. And then number 3 is, do you think the company cares enough about shareholder returns over the life cycle of essentially research and development? Because Amazon, the reason they're able to keep investing in capex is because they don't give dividends and they don't do share buybacks. And I think the robotics angle, which we've talked about extensively, is going to be the vertical that really solidifies in my head Amazon becoming a cornerstone stock of my portfolio, because robotics is real. I think outside of Tesla, Amazon is a pure play robotics company, and Amazon is obviously more pure play than Tesla because Tesla still has to ship the robots. Amazon's been using them for the past 2 decades, and robots will increase margin efficiency for a company that doesn't have the best margins. So it's very simple to me. I think Amazon should be in the running for people who want a cornerstone stock of their portfolio. It's at an attractive valuation, even after this 15% move, where I think people can build out a position over the next year and a half and just let it ride for the next 10 years, which is what I'm doing with Palantir and Hood. I have zero intention of selling them over the next 10 years. So they become corner. I'm sure people that have SoFi at $7-8, zero intention of selling it. People have Rocket Lab, and Matt, is Rocket Lab from $4 or $5. He's probably not going to sell it for a while. That's a cornerstone of the portfolio. I think Amazon with this earnings solidified it should be a cornerstone.
It's been a cornerstone for me, and I think it's just one of those companies you don't necessarily have to worry about. And look, when you look at where Walmart and Costco are trading, it's very hard for me to say Amazon's overvalued. No disrespect to Sir Joseph Carlson.
I agree. And I'm seeing people on Twitter already take shots at Amazon because their operating income's flat and stuff. And I'm just like, is that your best analysis? Like, is that really the analysis that you got from this call? It's very one-dimensional, and I don't know. Will it stay up 15%? Who knows? But like, if it goes down 15%, I think you're gonna get a lot of people say, "Yep, I missed my buy before earnings. I'm getting my buy after earnings." And so I don't think it's too scary to DCA.
Yeah, and I'll get into what am I missing here? Just give me 1 sec. I'm missing NVIDIA. I'm not going to – Tesla's not part of this really. But when I show you this, I think you're going to be very interested.
Well, put in the chat, what are your like – I think you can probably only have a max of 5 stocks that are legit cornerstones because they just have to be sizable enough. So put in the chat, what are the 2 to 3 to 5 cornerstones of your portfolio?
So look,
for me right now, it's 3. It's NVIDIA, Palantir, Hood.
Here's where I'm at with Amazon. AWS blew it out of the water. Jassy knew what he had to do. Sales increased 20% year over year to $33 billion. Annualized revenue run rate $132 billion. Operating income $11.4 billion. AWS is reaccelerating growth. They added 3.8 gigawatts of power capacity. The Trainium 2 chips is very interesting, and I know that you watched part of the Project Rainer data center cluster from the other night, where they have nearly 500,000 Trainium 2 chips to deploy Anthropic's leading Claude AI model, and they're expected to be more than 1 million by the end of the year, and I believe version 3 will be out in the next 6 months, if I remember correctly. They announced new Ultra servers using NVIDIA Blackwell super chips. They launched Agent Core and Rufus. I don't really use it, but the fact that it's expected to deliver 10 billion in incremental annualized sales, pretty interesting. So look, Amazon's one of those companies. I've said it before. I'll say it again. They're going to be the first $1 trillion revenue company. I don't think we can say otherwise. They're the only one that the analysts are projecting by 2029. That will be the year they're $1 trillion. Walmart doesn't have that. Walmart's the only company that does similar revenue. Amazon had 11.8% margin last quarter. I think that they can get to a 20% margin in the next 4 years. If they do, that's $200 billion operating income. That's more than double NVIDIA's current trailing 12 operating income. And NVIDIA is at a 5 trillion market cap. Amazon's at 2.5 trillion. So There's no
Amazon's
reason.
gonna earn $5 trillion then.
There's no reason Amazon can't be a $5 to $7 trillion company in 2029
I agree.
if they can get their margins up and if their revenue scales the way the analysts are projecting.
Well, let me show you this.
Yep.
Let me just share my screen. Do I have this? Yeah. This is, I think this is really the theme of tonight's episode.
The big just get bigger?
Well, essentially. So Google, 11 straight EPS beats, Amazon, 12 straight EPS beats, Microsoft, 13 straight EPS beats, Meta, 11 straight EPS beats. The hyperscalers will go down as the easiest investments of our lifetime. Who disagrees with that?
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Who's been saying that for a long time?
No, I agree. You've been pounding the table that the big get bigger. I agree. Like it's becoming quite obvious as they continue putting up these earnings that like, how is betting on these 7 not going? I mean, Apple is trading at 41 times. It's a little aggressive for very little. It's very aggressive for very little growth, but it's Apple because they have the cash flow, 132 billion in cash. Buy back the stock. Siri might become a big thing. They have 2 billion devices. Like, there's all these fundamental catalysts that no other company on the planet ever can replace. And that's why Apple gets the premium. So it's like the Max 7 have to be the easiest investments of the next 10 to 20 years for all of us. And when we get these stupid dips like Meta that we'll talk about, you just lean in. You ignore all the haters, just like the Google people did over the past couple of months. And you just buy, knowing there are not really any ways these companies can be replaced, ever.
So here's where I'm going to go with this. I know a lot of people think I invest like an old man, but if investing in the Mag 7 is investing like an old man, I'll do that every day. Because I don't think people quite understand, not the people in the chat, just in general, flip-flopping on the greatest companies can drive you mad.
Yes.
And it is so hard to be bearish on companies with the balance sheets and the cash flow statements this size. We may never see other companies get here. Coca-Cola is never going to be where these companies are in 10 years from now. Maybe 470 or 480 of the S&P 500 will never be in 10 years from now where these companies are.
I'll go further and say objectively, outside of maybe 5 companies.
Right. You got Broadcom.
Broadcom's already up. I mean, dude, it's at 1.6.
Like, that's what I'm saying, like 470, 480.
I think there's 5 companies under 500 billion today that have a shot of becoming that Mag 7. But outside of those,
which ones are you thinking? Let me guess. Broadcom, Oracle.
No. All of those are basically $1 trillion at this point. I said below 500 billion market cap.
So Palantir is obviously one.
Yeah, I don't know all the reason. 5 is rather an arbitrary number. It's
right.
Rather a metaphor to say there's a handful. Palantir is one of them for sure. But my point is, I agree. Like, how many companies can we say currently that are public, or even that could be public, have a shot to be the next Mag 7? OpenAI is up there.
OpenAI, you got to throw in there. I guess you're going to say AMD.
Look, I'm not the biggest AMD guy, but sure, AMD.
Neither am I.
I don't know enough about AMD's business if they could actually get to 3-4 trillion. I really don't know. But like, we're talking about what are companies today? Oh, this is a good experiment. What are companies today that are under 500 billion? Let's put the threshold at under 500 billion that can become minimum 2 trillion, because I think you got to be at least in that multi-trillion-dollar club, or 1.5 trillion because TSMs are to be seen as like the companies of our lifetime.
I'm telling you, it's not going to be Walmart or Costco or Coca-Cola or Johnson & Johnson or Pfizer. It's not going to be any of them.
Which is why the Mag 7 have to keep being the best bets for the next decade, or at least next 5 years.
Who can compete? Think about it. Who can compete with them? Who is and really think about this. You can dislike Microsoft all you want, and you can think it's boring. You can't discount the percentage gains it's generated, and you can't discount the ecosystem. So let me guess, you're going to be bearish on a company that has Azure, which is roughly a third of cloud, owns LinkedIn, which is the only professional social media site,
Xbox,
owns Xbox, owns Activision Blizzard. How about Microsoft Office? How about Windows? So you're telling me the entire enterprise stack you're going to be bearish on?
It's almost like those 7 companies affect pretty much every single person on the planet in some way.
100%.
And like when we're doing this thought experiments, like what is a company today under 500 billion that could get to that point? There's got to be a handful. There can't be that many more.
You know what? Before I bring up what I built out, let's bring up the largest S&P 500 companies. Let's go through the top 20 or top 25 and say.
Are people saying Netflix is going to be $3-4 trillion? Like maybe it could, but like I don't know. I'm thinking like serious companies that it's not as easy as just media and movies. Like we're talking about stuff that is fundamental to the fabric of humanity.
All right, nothing fancy, everybody. It's just freaking tickers, all right? Nothing fancy. This doesn't have market cap. I gotta find something else. Hold on.
Broadcom and Oracle are already there in my pick because they're above 500 billion. Yeah, Palantir.
Right, this one's got market cap. Perfect.
Palantir is on that list for me just because of how important their software is globally. But it's like
I mean, when Jensen's saying it's the most important enterprise stack.
Yeah, I mean, like
you gotta listen. I mean, I don't know who's got Pokemon cards on the side of their ads except for me, but you know, alternative assets.
NVIDIA. This is S&P 500 weighting, or this is
right now by market cap.
Okay, so NVIDIA, Apple, Microsoft, Google, Amazon, Broadcom, Meta, Tesla, Berkshire, JP Morgan.
All right, here we go. So JP Morgan, yes, I could see them being 1.5 trillion.
Yes, I can see that too. Now, is that going to be a company that's as important as the Mag 7?
Banking's pretty important, sir.
No, I agree. I'm wondering from a
I think a different vertical, it has its place and relevancy.
Well, look, if they embrace the blockchain ecosystem, stable coins, tokenize it, maybe that ends up.
I didn't realize Walmart's 815 billion market cap, to be quite honest.
Well, look, I think Walmart can get to 1.52 trillion. I still don't think it would be as important as any of the Mag 7. That's the thing.
I mean, a lot of people do shop there, but it's not as nearly as important as Mag 7. Eli Lilly, I don't think is going to be there.
No, well, look, I actually forgot about the drug companies. If they end up using AI to really find meaningful cures, you can't dismiss those. Because, I mean, if they find the cure for a disease, I mean, like, how much is that worth? It's probably worth a lot, right?
I mean, I went down that rabbit hole with the genomics, so I guess I got to go down it for companies like that.
But those CRISPR companies, like Eli Lilly actually has the R&D budget to execute on all that research. The CRISPR companies can, but, you know, they just don't have the size and scale.
It's crazy that Palantir is the 19th largest company. Crazy.
And look, the reason Palantir is on my list is because I think in the next 10 years, that software is going to be integrated into so many companies and so many governments that it will warrant being in.
I mean, do we think Visa and MasterCard are going to be there? I don't.
Not really.
To be brutally honest, I don't.
No. JP Morgan.
They can get disrupted, if anything.
Yeah, and I think they'll pivot to embracing crypto, but
they have to.
I don't think they become that important outside of that. Costco, no. Abby, no.
No.
Keep
Home
scrolling
Depot, down. Procter & Gamble, General Electric, no.
IBM, maybe?
No, I doubt it.
The quantum thing is like that important? Like,
I mean, look, we all know that I've been beating the drum on Cisco since like 35 or 40, and I still don't think Cisco is going to be $1 trillion company. Yeah, I'm not seeing many of these companies. Like, I think the majority of the growth is coming from the Mag 7.
Even if we went international, guys, like what are some international names you think are so important that could overtake?
Yeah, I mean, what are the biggest international companies? SAP.
That's not getting up there. Like
no.
Spotify, no. It's like
Spotify, Bob.
No company in India that gets close to the Mag 7.
I mean, what's the biggest? Hold on.
I mean, look, the problem with the Chinese companies is that they always have so many restrictions on them because if they get too powerful, the CCP is ready to stop the power from becoming.
Yeah, the three biggest in the Vanguard Developed Markets Index, VEA, ASML, Samsung, and SAP. Those are the three biggest.
No, those are not the type. Like again, hold these companies to a very high threshold. We're talking about Meta, 4 billion users. We're talking about Apple, 2 billion devices. We're talking about Amazon. Everyone in the world buys from the, like we're talking about Google. Everyone searches on.
I'll tell you, Qualcomm at 190 billion is interesting.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
They are not competing with AMD and Nvidia in any
I didn't say they are, but there's a different vertical.
What do you mean they are? Like, what are you
I
talking
said
about?
they're not. There's a different vertical. They're
What
going to be more on the CDMA technology, 6G, et cetera, et cetera. They're not making server chips. Eventually, 5G will be obsolete. Qualcomm is going to be very interesting.
Well, the only reason the stock pumped is because they have a new chip, but that's fair if you think networking becomes that big.
Networking communications is big. They have a ton of patents.
Yeah, but even if they are powerful, like I don't know if they become that.
No, I'm just saying. I'm not saying they're going to 1.5, but at 190, you're telling me they can't get to 400 or 500 billion?
No, they can, but that doesn't fit the criteria.
Exactly.
Criteria is Mag 7. Which company could?
Oh yeah, no, none of them. None of them.
I agree.
It's not even worth going down the list anymore. Like these companies are not. I mean, you're telling me you're picking any of these companies over Mag 7 right now? I'm not.
No.
I mean, I'm taking Verizon for a dividend. That's about it.
The only ones I can think of are Palantir and OpenAI. Guys, TSM is already up there. TSM is already at $1 trillion. Oh, SpaceX is yes, SpaceX. That is another one privately, 100%.
So check this out.
But you have to hold it to a high threshold, and if you name 50 companies, then it's not as high of a threshold.
So you know how I track everything on EPS? So I went back to that Alphabet article, and I pulled out where the market or where the analysts had EPS at the beginning of the year and where they have it now for Meta. 2025 was expected to be $25.24 at the beginning of the year. Now it's supposed to be 27. They took the bottom range in 2025 up, or they took the range up. 2027 is still the same. They actually took it down 3 cents since the beginning of the year. Meta is such a freaking steal here. To me, it's crazy. It's trading at less than 20 times forward earnings.
No, I agree. And the reason we even did this exercise is because when these companies, the companies that we hold to such a high threshold as the most important companies on the planet, when they get a 12% dip, you have to ask yourself, hey, like, is this a meaningful opportunity to at least look at these companies? And I agree. The Meta dip is stupid. And we look at the forward estimates, it becomes even more stupid.
And look at Alphabet. They took Alphabet up, what, $1.10 in 2025 and 50 cents in 2027. You're telling me that over the next 2 years, Alphabet's not going to outgrow that range? Get out of here. And then, look, at least Microsoft, they went from 13.16 to 15.99 this year and 17.69 to 22.11. I mean, even Microsoft today at 525, trading at 24 times 2027 earnings. That's not an expensive market.
I've been thinking a little
that
bit more
amount of
about
growth. That's not expensive.
Okay, well, let me ask you this question. Let's talk about this.
So real quick, just look at NVIDIA. NVIDIA 2025, they're saying is the same pretty much. 2027, look how much more EPS growth there is. It went from 621 to 809. That took it from a 32.66 multiple to 25 times 2027 earnings. You're telling me NVIDIA 25 times 2027 earnings when it's trading at almost 45 times this year is expensive? 80% EPS growth over the next 2 years.
That's also, I would imagine, no China.
Yeah, no China is incorporated in this. And these aren't my numbers. These are the analysts on the street. So I don't think we're in an expensive market right now, at least for the Max 7.
Here's the question. I said this in the market open today, but let's say you had $70,000. Would you do
question? How'd you come up with that number?
Well, you'll see why. Would you do 10,000?
Oh, you're splitting 10 across. Okay.
Because you've basically done the first part of the strategy, 10,007. I mean, I know you're overweight on some others, but you basically said, I'm going to go direct to each of them. Or do you do 35, 35 or 30, 30, and then 10? Like, and then if you do it in a split adjusted way, what are the names
right
you bet on? Because I think that's a very important question, because that could either accelerate. Because if you don't go the second route, why wouldn't you just buy the NASDAQ? Like, why are we even talking about the individual names? And like, like at that point, just NASDAQ and chill. That's it.
Dude, NASDAQ and chill has been a great freaking strategy.
Yeah, but I mean, if you're in 70,000 in Google this year, you've outperformed the NASDAQ by a lot.
Right. But look, a lot of people don't want to take that risk. I know what it's like to not want to take that type of risk. So I get it.
So what would you do in this 70,000 scenario? I feel
Honestly,
like I'm picking two. I'm picking two, and I'm
I
wrong.
mean, yeah, you're a gunslinger.
No, but what? You're going to pick all 7 and put 10,000?
I don't think it's the worst idea to take all 7. At
What would you do? What would you personally do?
So at today's prices,
yeah, all of them are cheap except Tesla and Apple.
I'm buying Nvidia all day, every day. Okay.
Okay.
I can live without Apple.
Me too.
I'm buying Amazon all day.
And then Google. It's Amazon, Google, Nvidia. That's it.
I don't want to live without Microsoft, but I can live without Microsoft.
I agree.
Alphabet all day. And I'm buying Meta. I'm buying the 4. I'm probably doing 15 across or whatever it comes out to. 18 across, 18.5 across. I'm probably not buying Apple and I'm not buying Microsoft. And you know what? I don't know that I want to own Tesla. So for me, it's probably just going to be Nvidia, Amazon, Alphabet, and Meta.
Wait,
even though I don't think putting 10 across all 7 is a bad idea.
Say it again. In Nvidia,
Alphabet, Amazon, Meta.
Nvidia, Amazon, Alphabet, Meta.
I'm not going against Zuck. I want Amazon.
You're splitting it by 4.
Not going against Sindar, and Jensen's just a stud.
I feel like if anyone goes down the if you have to pick like 2, right? If you're trying to concentrate, I feel like it's crazy to not have Nvidia as one of that 2. Because the only reason the other guys are getting a premium is because of AI and who's supplying AI. It's like, I feel like you kind of have to pick NVIDIA.
If I'm taking 2 for the most ROI, I'm taking NVIDIA and Tesla and hoping Musk freaking does something. And if he doesn't, the gains on NVIDIA will offset if Tesla screws up. Because Tesla's the biggest risk reward out of all of them.
Well, and here's the thing. Again, this Tesla compensation is he has to 10x the stock. Like that.
Yeah.
Elon, they said he wouldn't when it was 50 and he did it. So it's like.
You don't bet against Elon.
Yeah.
At the same time,
it's going to be hard to sleep at night versus picking Amazon or Google.
I mean, I guess I wouldn't have that much of an issue if he actually gets a compensation package because he's truly going to be incentivized to actually work at Tesla now.
But I think he's going to get it. That's guaranteed.
I mean, he's got to get it.
Yeah. There's no way he's not.
He's got to get it. I got 2 rants I want to go on and get your take. BlackRock, State Street, Vanguard, and all these companies. Do you know why they're allowed
Hold on. We have something more important.
All right, BMR. What happened with BMR?
No. I mean, we can talk about BMR, but we have something more important.
All right, what happened?
Guess who just tweeted for the first time in a long time?
Satoshi?
Does he even have a Twitter account?
I don't know.
This guy hasn't tweeted since 2023. Guys, guess in the chat.
Put it backstage.
Oh boy,
so
this is juicy.
Cue it up for you.
This is juicy.
Oh my God. Is it Kitty?
Well, who?
Roaring Kitty?
No.
I don't know.
This is about to be.
I have no idea who the hell you're talking about.
Folks.
Put it backstage so I can actually bring it up.
Here we go.
And tell me when you want me to bring it up.
Go ahead, do it.
Wait, hold on. I'm not going to say who it is, and I can't see who it is, but is it the person?
Just do it.
Is it the person of the image?
Yes.
I feel like he's tweeted.
No, he hasn't tweeted since
Really?
Michael Burry, Sometimes we see bubbles. Sometimes there is something to do about it. Sometimes the only winning move is not to play. Oh my.
He really hasn't tweeted since 23.
The last thing he said in 2023, as you can see, he has no other posts.
Right.
I'll show you. The last thing he said, he deleted this tweet, was this. Literally at the bottom, he said sell. It was a month after the bottom. But he deleted everything. I wonder how, he always deletes his tweets. I wonder how long it takes for him to delete, if he deletes. He pinned the tweet, so maybe he wants to send a message to the investing community that we are in a bubble, baby.
But we're not in a bubble, so...
Well, Michael Burry thinks we are.
Look, I'm not going to go against or disrespect Michael Burry. I mean, he called something that nobody else called, except for two freaking guys at a hedge fund that was a startup. But at the same time, you have to remember, he got so much notoriety from ultimately the greatest, if not one of the greatest, calls of a bear cycle.
Bro,
Can he actually be bullish on anything?
I'm buying calls tomorrow now. This is like... No, you're right. Look, he got one right in 2007, 2008, but he's gotten every single other thing wrong after that.
Exactly.
Every single other thing wrong. What do you think about that, though? It's he's trying to be poetic right here. Sometimes we see bubbles. Sometimes there's something to do about it. Sometimes the only winning move is not to play. 3
words. Does the chat want to write them before I say it or ask Amit to say it? 3 words.
Look,
let's see it in the chat. 3 words.
You can say you don't care, but to analyze it at a deeper philosophical level.
We can analyze it. There we go. We can analyze it at a more philosophical level, but I don't care.
That's fair. Look, the majority of investors are not going to care, and no one's going to sell their stocks because Burry said it's a bubble. But
look, the reason I don't care is because we've gone down this road with every other person that has said this. And the bottom line is this is not being fueled by debt from venture capital like the dot-com bubble. This is not companies with no revenue taking out freaking loans that they can't pay back. This is predominantly being paid for by profitability. And if people want to talk about the Blue Owl and Meta deal, does it really matter that Meta decided, you know what? It's better for us to go at it this way than paying for it out of our balance sheet.
Dude, there's one reason he tweeted this. It's very simple.
What's the reason?
He's missed the entire rally.
Well, of course.
Dude, it is so hard to see your neighbor get rich. And over the past 2 years, people have gotten not even rich, filthy rich. Like the amount of Palantir millionaire, like legit multi-millionaires I know, the amount of Rocket Lab millionaires, Robinhood millionaires, SoFi millionaires now, like if you chalk all of that up to a bubble, of course you're going to convince everybody that it's all fake. But if you miss
Look, are there companies that are overvalued? Absolutely. But that's every market. Every market has companies that are overvalued at some point. The problem here for Burry is, are the Mag 7 companies overvalued? No, they're not.
They're not.
And they make up what, 20, 25% of the S&P? I actually don't know the number. It could be 30%.
Oh, I think it's like 35 to 40.
It's like 30, 35%.
It's like the top 10 makeup. But basically, yeah.
Well, top 10 is, well, I'll tell you right now what the top 10 is.
Because if you throw Broadcom and all those in there.
The top 10 is 39%.
Yeah, exactly. The thing, or people are saying he didn't miss everything. He got China. Guys, getting Baba and riding
wasn't hard.
It wasn't hard, but B, that's great. That's a big win. But if in 2023, when he said sell, if he went long 3 or 4 names in the Mag 7, any of them, I mean, forget Baba. Like,
listen, I was calling Baba a freaking 88 or 92, wherever the hell it was. Like, that wasn't a hard one. That was a no-brainer.
Now, remember, the other reason it's so hard for him to navigate this is because in 22, we bottomed. October. January 23, I remember Tesla hit 103 and then Palantir was still at 7. So like it still didn't feel like we had escaped the bottom. ChatGPT was just beginning. That's when the bears like doubled down on the bear thesis. And that's when they went, no, this is a dead cat bounce. Everyone thinks we're moving up, but like there's nothing. And then NVIDIA had the March 23 quarter and then everything changed. But they still doubled down. So I think for the past couple of years, he's, doubling down and it just has not worked. And now you see NVIDIA at 5 trillion, you're like, shit, like I've got to say something to the public about how this is ridiculous. It's a bubble, but it might not be.
I think it's insane. To say that we're in a bubble is insane. There are companies that are expensive. There's always companies that are expensive. Does freaking SRM or Oklo, do they deserve to be where they are? Some people think so. I don't. But to say that the market is in a bubble when the Mag 7 are generating the amount of capital they are and trading at the valuations they are, we're not. I don't see it.
No, I don't. Look, if you're actually analyzing the numbers, this does not look like a bubble.
No, not at all. Or forget the numbers today, where the numbers going to be in 2-3 years from now.
Yeah.
And you're going to tell me that, okay, Michael Burry is smarter than the combination of Zuckerberg, Jassy, Sundar, and freaking Nadella? Like, they're all telling you this is where we're spending the money, this is where we're going, and this is what we need for the future of our companies. They built the greatest companies in the market, and you're going to tell me that they're wrong?
I think it's a level of arrogance that people have. And I think it's good, though. Like, we need, look, last time Burry said this, we went on a 2-year S&P 500 20% rally year over year. So if we need these people to come out and say how bad it is, because you can't have everyone thinking it's great. There's enough people calling it a bubble, which is good. Okay, we have to talk about BM&R because I tried my best with Tanner.
Yeah, so talk about it before I go on my 2 rants.
I don't know. This is a long conversation. I was going to give the mic to you because me and Tanner apparently couldn't calm people down. Maybe you can calm people down on this, but people I see are freaking out.
I don't even know what happened with BM&R.
Nothing happened. Ethereum went down today, so BM&R went down. And now people are saying it's a scam. It's the worst thing ever. It's like, I don't know. What is your perspective on how you navigate this?
All right, I'm not going to say the 3 words. I'm going to be a little sensitive right now. Okay.
Oh, yeah, because the people actually don't want to hear, I don't care about this. Like, people are legit upset.
I'm going to be very sensitive. Okay. I'm going to put the kid gloves on. If I had gloves, I'd put them on. I'm going to put the kid gloves on. All right. 4 words. I'm not going to do it. I want to do it. I'm not going to do it. All right. Not going to do it. In all seriousness, I think the people that are upset, it's a lot of short-term money. And it's people just trying to flip it and make a quick buck. How many times have I told you, hold on, somebody knows what I was going to say. I'm going to put it up on the screen. You're 100% right. You're 100% right. But short-term money, to me, is scared money. I'm not a trader. I don't day trade. I don't try to day trade. It's not my thing. And if you're investing in things that you don't understand, probably not a great idea. I was very skeptical of Ethereum, okay? I talked a lot of shit about Ethereum. I changed my tune over the summer after the Genius Act got signed. I did my research. I connected the dots in my mind. I went down the rabbit hole, and I looked at it as stable coin adoption is coming. The largest amount of stable coins are built on layer 2 from Ethereum. Vlad probably is going to pull off tokenization. We're going to get tokenization of a lot of assets. The majority will be on the Ethereum blockchain layer 2 because of their smart contract system. So for me, I believe that Ethereum can become a deflationary asset because you're going to have more transactional volume than is actually getting issued because they have a cap at 1.27%, I believe. And you could have Ethereum as deflationary asset. So I've been buying Ethereum. And then BM&R is a play on Ethereum as a treasury Tom Lee and the team can do things that I cannot with Ethereum because they can stake it, they can restake it, and they can restake through DeFi to generate additional yields. And that becomes accredited to the bottom line and it becomes immediate net income. I am looking at this as a future play over the next 3 to 5 years. And anybody who's worried about what this is doing on a day-to-day basis, if you're truly that worried, maybe it's not a great investment for you because this is extremely volatile. I bought more BMR and Ethereum today. Was I scared when it went down? No. And I hate this analogy, but if you go buy a shirt and then for whatever the price is, and then you go and then you see that they're having a sale for 4th of July or whatever, Black Monday, and you go buy more, you may buy two because, oh my God, it's a great deal. So you don't want to buy more at a good price if you truly believe in it. So that's my pitch.
This is the one thing I love about you. It's like once you have a thesis, time will tell if you're right or wrong.
Yeah.
But you're going to stick with the thesis because you're not.
Unless my freaking thesis changes.
Unless it changes. And so the thing I was sharing was an 8K. I put the link in the chat. They just published a new presentation and they're aiming for 3 to 4% yield on staking. And they talk about a bunch of other things there. But I think a lot of people got into it thinking it's going to go to the moon tomorrow. And I even talked about this a month ago where I was seeing these stupid price targets of 150, $500. And I feel like I was being the sane one saying, no, I think like 75 maybe by end of year is reasonable, which is how I kind of structured my covered calls. But it's obviously not going to 150 or 500 unless Ethereum actually gets to 12,000. That's not happening, in my opinion. So then it's a question of like, why are you still long the name? I think there's two reasons. Number one, the covered call premiums are exceptional. And so if you're yielding the premium, that's one reason. The number two is just like, do you believe that Ethereum is going to be the de facto blockchain for stablecoins and tokenization? If you do, then you cannot be concerned about the day-to-day on BMR. Because that's like being concerned about the day-to-day on Bitcoin and Ethereum. It's like, you just can't. Like, these are volatile assets.
Keep in mind, Ethereum does not have a balance sheet. It doesn't have an income statement. Like, you know what you're getting yourself into. There are so many variables that go into the investment thesis. You can't just look at it on a quarterly basis and figure out trends.
There might not even be an earnings call. People are like, oh, I can't wait for the call. I'm like, what are they going to say on the call? It's a treasury. Like, what are they going to say?
Well, keep in mind, the best advice I can give to somebody, keep in mind, I'm not a financial advisor. Don't invest money you can't afford to lose. And don't invest money that's going to keep you up at night when you go into volatile periods. Even the Mag 7, think about it. You knew me in 2022. Was I freaking out? No. Like, you have to understand, the stock market is going to retrace. Even though the Mag 7 is up right now and BMR is going crazy, you have to understand that you're going to experience swings, and no matter what you're in. 2022, Amazon and Alphabet both got cut in half. We got through it.
Here is where the BMR thesis completely goes to shit. And this is like everyone who's in it will just have to acknowledge it. If we have a crypto winter, very simple. If we have a crypto winter and Ethereum gets cut in half and Bitcoin gets cut in half, which by the way, I really don't think Bitcoin gets cut in half and Ethereum goes up or Ethereum goes up, like, and Bitcoin gets cut in. They both have to work synonymously. Like, if we get a full-on crypto winter and everything collapses, then yeah. But at that point, Hood is going to collapse. Coinbase is going to collapse. Beloved MicroStrategy is going to collapse. Anything crypto oriented is going to. And by the way, given we're entering into a rate cutting cycle and an increased quantitative easing cycle with more liquidity, it's not just going to be the high beta crypto plays. It's going to be the Rocket Labs, the Palantirs, anything that the Teslas that have a multiple. They're all getting hit. So I think if you get into that environment, yes, everything falls apart. And crypto will get it probably a bit worse than everything else, but everything's getting hit. If not, then you just have to be right on the thesis. Now, maybe Bitmine doesn't move, but for the people saying it's going to $10, I'm like, well, I don't know if that's as easily possible.
I mean, the bottom line is we don't know if it's going to $10, $100, or staying where it is. All we know is the price is going to change and is likely to fluctuate in both directions. Which way the trend goes, we don't know. But once again, if you can't stomach it, maybe you shouldn't be in it.
Yes, if you can't stomach it, you shouldn't be. And that's the number one thing. Second of all, is like, I don't know if we have to have a crypto winter, like that traditional 4-year cycle. I don't know. Maybe we do. But if we don't have that type of a cycle, because there's so many more different variables, including the institutionalization of the asset, then maybe it's flat, but maybe it's not getting cut in half. I'm sure it'll go up and down 10, 20%, but I don't know if it gets destroyed like 2022.
So one of our friends in the chat, Matty Money, please go follow him. He puts out great content. No, him and I have a difference of opinion on this. And he thinks that we're going to get better prices. He's been right so far. I don't know what the definition of a crypto winter is. I don't know that we're really going to set up for it, only because of the amount of stablecoin adoption that looks like it's going to happen. I mean, when you get guys like Anthony Noto talking about we're launching a stablecoin in Q1 and it's going to be the basis for our cross-border payment system globally, I mean, it's hard for me to really get behind a full-blown crypto crash when all roads point to adoption from the Genius Act. And keep in mind, I was not bullish on any crypto except for XRP and potentially Solana because of true cross-border payment systems. That all changed over the summer. Look, I don't get political, but this administration clearly is adopting crypto.
And the Clarity Act is coming soon as well.
You have an SEC that is adopting crypto. You have a crypto and AI czar who, if you listen to All In podcasts for the past several years, you knew what Sachs's stance was. You knew what the Cruz stance was. They're friends with Brian Armstrong. You knew this. Now you see MasterCard's building their stablecoin on layer 2 Ethereum. Same with PayPal, same with Shopify. We know that Noto said Bitcoin Lightning Network last earnings call. I don't see how that's going to work, but okay. All we know is that these companies are doing big things with stablecoins, and over the next year, it's likely to be mass adoption. And we have another 3.5 years of this. And I'll even speculate that no matter who gets into the White House in 2028, I don't think that you can win a presidential election going against crypto at this point. So I don't think that you're going to have the Gary Gensler era coming back ever again or anytime in the next 2 or 3 election cycles, because it's just too important for votes at this point.
Yeah, look, I agree. And the other reason I think people got into it is because of Tom Lee. And, I think people forget he called Bitcoin at 5,000 in 2017.
Right.
And he, there was an interview he did on ETH in July, and he said, and I genuinely think he means this, he wants ETH to stay flat for the next 5 years. Because
he wants to acquire it at a better price.
And that's what they did with Bitcoin. And the dude, really got the right call on it. So it's like, maybe he's wrong here. It's not like he's 100% right all the time. But if he's right and you have to go through a couple of years of flatness or swings and you can't deal with that, then you're not really long it. You're just doing it as a trade, which means at that point you should get the hell out of it. Like if you have no conviction in Meta and then you get a 12% drop and you're feeling like shit, it's like you should be salivating for a dip on Meta. Like if Robinhood were to really go down back below 100, would it hurt my portfolio? Of course. But like long term, I know what I hold with Hood. I would be ready to buy that dip.
So I'm going to show you conviction. Okay. This is what conviction looks like. And you have to
also, we don't want a sudden spike either. You want it to be gradual over time, because if it just goes up, it'll just come right back down. That's when it hit 70 back in August. It came right back down. So 100%. That's right.
Think about everything that's happened with Meta since 2018. Cambridge Analytics, multiple freaking lawsuits, the Europe lawsuit, like every bad thing that's happened, censorship, everything, right? This is what conviction looks like. Having a thesis, believing in the company. This is on the record, November 26, 2018.
There you go.
And then, going into 2020, 2021, 2022 when it was down to $90.
Have you ever said a sell? No, you never had a sell. Wow.
No, I've always been bullish because Zuck has earned the right for a lot of things. And that's one of my rants that I want to do in a minute about Zuck earning the right to do things.
A lot of people don't like Zucks, to be honest.
That's fine.
Put
You
in the
don't have
chat.
to
Put in the chat here if you have an ethical problem with investing in Meta.
I could put a poll up if you want.
Put a poll up because I've heard this argument from a lot of people that they just can't ethically do it. And our friend Roy, he
I was just gonna say that's Roy's big thing.
Roy, you can't do it, and so I wonder how much that that creates more animosity around the stock.
Investing in Meta or investing in Zuck?
Meta.
Okay. All right, poll is up. And let's see. Wow.
What is it?
I did not think that was going to happen. We already have 193 votes, 70% no. It flipped. It was at 50% yes. It just keeps changing. We're at 260. All right, well, it's changing too quick. We'll leave it for a minute.
Yeah, I mean, look, I've never had an ethical problem. I respect people that just choose not to put their money.
Sure.
But I agree. Like the reason you've been bullish for so long is because you weren't just looking at the ethics. You were looking at like, is the company performing? And they are.
I mean, look, here's the way I look at investing. Are they doing anything illegal? Because if the answer is no, who am I to judge? The government sets the framework about what they're allowed to do and what they're not allowed to do.
Well, I don't know if legality is the basis for morality. I mean, you can interpret it like that, but the biggest concern I've seen from people is that the way they've cultivated the algorithm basically manipulates people. And as a result, it's hard for them to be interested in pushing that agenda. And that's a fair point. It's just the counterpoint is like your local pizza shop that needs to get customers so that they can hire people to serve the community. They're advertising on Facebook. It's just that simple. And if Facebook doesn't have the ads, the targeting, the data, the proprietary technology, that pizza shop probably goes out of business because putting an ad in the newspaper doesn't work. Like this is a whole different world. If you've never started a business or actually advertised, I think people are like, they lose sense of what actually fuels Meta's business, which is companies trying to gain access to consumers. The way you conglomerate a mass amount of consumers is you need network effects. You need technology. That's what Meta's built. And so if you want Chipotle, it was a horrible example because they had a crappy earnings, but if you want them to grow, they're going to need to advertise, right? If you want all these other companies to actually be able to move the economy forward, they need to get people's attention. That's what Meta provides them access to, even if there are ethical conundrums in thinking of how they do that. Trump just tweeted.
Who just tweeted?
You got to get Truth Social on your phone, bro. Okay, Trump just tweeted. This is a lot. Okay.
Bring it up and on the thing. I'll put it on the screen.
You can't do it on Truth. I'll read it out. Because of the fact that the Democrats have gone stone cold crazy, the choice is clear. Initiate the nuclear option, get rid of the filibuster, and make America great again. Okay. The next one is a long one. Okay, so bear with me. I just got back from Asia where I met the leaders of many countries, including China, Japan, South Korea, Malaysia, and more. It was a great honor to meet them, but more particularly to see that America is respected again, respected like never before. Great trade deals were made. Long-term relationships now exist, and money is pouring into our country because of tariffs and, frankly, the landslide results of the 2024 presidential election. The one question that kept coming up, however, was how did the Democrats shut down the United States of America, and why did the powerful Republicans allow them to do it? The fact is, in flying back, I thought a great deal about that question. Why? Speaker Mike Johnson is doing a great job, but the Democrats are crazy lunatics that have lost all sense of wisdom and reality. It is a sick form of now legendary Trump derangement syndrome that only comes from losing too much. They want trillions of dollars to be taken from our healthcare system and given to others who are not deserving. People who have come into our country legally, many from prisons and mental institutions. This will hurt American citizens, and Republicans will not let it happen. It is now time for the Republicans to play their Trump card and go for what is called the nuclear option, get rid of the filibuster, and get rid of it now. Just a short while ago, the Democrats, while in power, fought for 3 years to do this, but were unable to pull it off because of Senators Joe Manchin of West Virginia. Never have the Democrats fought so hard to do something because they knew they were the tremendous strength that terminating the filibuster would give them. They went to substantially expand the United States Supreme Court. and many other highly destructive things. Well, now we are in power, and if we did what we should be doing, it would immediately end this ridiculous country-destroying shutdown. If the Democrats ever came back into power, which would be made easier for them if the Republicans are not using the great strength and policies made available to us by ending the filibuster, the Democrats will exercise their rights, and it will be done in the first day they take office, regardless of whether or not we do it. In addition to all the other things we would get, such as the best judges, the best U.S. attorneys, and the best of everything. This was a concept from years ago from President Barack Hussein Obama and former Majority Leader Harry Reid in order to take advantage of the Republicans. Now I want to do it to take advantage of the Democrats.
It's never going to end. Oh, why even tweet that?
Well, I do think the shutdown's getting ridiculous, right?
I'm not saying the shutdown's not ridiculous. I mean, people need to get paid for their work. I mean, the shutdown's ridiculous. I think that everybody needs, and I don't like getting political, everybody needs to act like an adult and talk this out, figure out what's best for the country, and stop with the squibbling.
Well, that's why I think he tweeted it. I think he tweeted it because he's getting annoyed by the shutdown too, and he's trying to put something out there to get people to start talking. I don't know if ending the filibuster is going to work, but
the vote is 595 votes, 73% no, 27% yes. So there are people, decent amount of people, more than a quarter, that have an ethical problem investing in Meta. Here's where I'm at on this. I don't have to agree with how they run the business, but has Meta done more good than harm? And like Amit said, if you're a small business or a medium-sized business or even a large-sized business, where's the best way to reach your target demographic? It's on Instagram and Facebook and through Google Ads. And I'll also argue Amazon at this point because how many people go to Amazon.com and the Amazon app? Yeah. So they've done more for business, which in turn does more for our economy. And this is why I'm very pro these companies. Forget being bullish. I'm pro-America. I want everybody to have a good job. I want everybody to be able to sustain their standard of living, increase their standard of living, and be able to provide a good life for themselves and their families. And these platforms allow business to commerce, business to thrive and expand. And without them, think about where we would be if businesses didn't have the ability to sell online or reach people online. They had to rely on people within 20, 30 miles visiting their establishment. These companies have done more for this economy than pretty much any other companies. So I will back these companies to the end.
Also, what exactly did Meta do? They allowed you to start uploading pictures of your wedding anniversary, and somehow they're the most unethical company on the planet. I don't know, bro. You voluntarily uploaded pictures of your
real
wedding.
Quick. Do you know how many of these things I get, Steve for Congress or Steve for governor?
You should, dude.
You don't want me going that route. Trust me.
Chell says, when would you take ethical considerations into your investing?
Never.
Never?
I'm a freaking shareholder of freaking Altria Group.
So there's never a line that's too bad for you to cross.
Like I said, if they're doing something illegal, that's a big problem. And
forget the legal part of it. Forget
the government sets framework around what is legal and what is not legal. Okay.
But something that will make you stay up at night thinking, I can't believe I'm supporting that company. Is there ever something like that? I
mean, Anheuser-Busch is a public company. You have Constellation Brand. How many people die drunk driving? Does anybody care about investing in those companies and bring up an ethical discussion about that?
I'm happy you bring that up because this is the thing. When people
I'm just saying, at the end of the day, everybody's an adult. Everybody can make their own decision. I don't have to agree with their decisions, and I don't have to agree with the products. But at the end of the day, the trends on financials, and if I can make money on it, is what I ultimately care about.
But also, people don't go down the rabbit hole in the implications of the companies they invest in. So they'll be like, oh, I hate this company because of blah, 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 headline. But then what you said, there's a lot of people that die from drunk driving, probably more than whatever other company you're concerned about.
Well, how
and
about
if you're investing in any brand that is associated with that.
Drinking 10 Cokes a day is healthy and you're not going to get diabetes? People love investing in Coca-Cola.
Sugar, one could argue.
If we want to go down that route, you probably won't be able to invest in anything. If you really want to go down that route. Look at the lawsuits with J&J with talcum powder. Look at the stuff with 3M. The lawsuits with the earbuds with the military. So
Yeah, like Spencer says, we're all supporting AI, and what is AI going to do?
it's going to take
away
over our
our
jobs.
That's why the ethical argument to me, it's hard to easily be
So
like,
hard.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we're allowed to invest in casinos. You want to talk about ethics, people go and ruin their lives at a casino, but we're investing in them some degree.
Yeah.
So I don't have when it comes to ethical, I'm more on the lines of, do the financials make sense? Do I think that they're going to grow market share? Do I think that they're trading at a good valuation? And is this a good investment? Yes or no? I'm not going to go down this whole ethical rabbit hole because every company you can come up with something.
Every company. Every single freaking company. If you get to the point where you're a public company, you've probably done some unethical shit to get there. Let's just be honest about it. Like,
I mean, is a hostile takeover of another company ethical? It's business.
it's business. That's right.
So I mean, I'm not going down that rabbit hole. So do we need to say anything else about BMNR? Do you think we calm people, or is there anything to say at this point?
No, I think you did I think it's a good job. I just think if the price keeps getting hit, people are going to keep being upset about it. But it comes down to, I think, do you think there's a crypto winter, and do you think there's a real thesis for Ethereum?
Look, there could be a crypto winter. I don't know. I don't have a crystal ball. If I had a crystal ball, myself and all my friends and all my family members, we'd all be billionaires. Like, I don't have a crystal ball. And if we do have a crypto winter, I don't know if the question we should be asking is whether or not we're going to have one. I think the question we should be asking is, if we have a crypto winter, is that the end of crypto?
Yes, that's a good point.
Because if it's not the end of crypto, then having a crypto winter, everybody should want to happen because you can just buy more at a better price.
Yes. Like, worst case scenario, BMR tanks 50% from here. The thesis on what it's trying to do with Ethereum doesn't change. You get to buy a lot of cheap BMR. Now, are you down 50%? Yes. Is that going to suck? Sure. But that's any bear market. And again, I just want to remind people, as rates come down and the cost of capital becomes cheaper and risk on assets continue to catch a bid, if Ethereum falls to 3,000, 2,800, like, it's not easy for people to fade that, because they're going to want to take advantage of that. Just like it's not easy for people to fade Meta going to 650. Meta's now at 675. Why? Because it got too cheap to ignore.
I'm with this. I'm with I Show Porsche. All right. Eating well done steak is unethical. I'm with you.
I'm with you too. That's why I'm medium well. You know?
You were medium the other day.
That was rare.
That was medium.
That was medium rare.
It was medium.
All
right, I'm gonna go down 2 rants, and I want to hear what you think. So I don't normally agree with Elon on a lot of things, but I truly do agree with him on this about BlackRock and State Street and everything. So, I mean, you know that BlackRock is allowed to vote every share of every one of their funds, correct?
Yeah.
So, and I said this before, Elon said this on the earnings call, it annoys the shit out of me because when you buy a share of an ETF, you're buying a share of the fund. The fund then uses your money and money from other investors to buy and hold the underlying securities, but they're done so in a different account, most likely. So the ETF provider is the legal owner of the stocks held within the fund. And as the legal owner, they get the voting rights. Your ownership, you're the beneficial owner of the ETF, meaning that you have a claim on the fund's assets and your share represents X amount of those assets. And you're entitled to the financial gain, but you do not directly own the shares, so you don't get to vote. Now, I got a problem with that because without you, me, everybody in the chat, and everybody else putting their money in, they would never be able to amass those large positions in those companies because technically they're using our money to do it. I don't think that any of these holding companies should be allowed to vote because think about it. If we bring up the S&P, if you have 100 grand, for every 100 grand that you have in an S&P index fund, okay, NVIDIA is 8.32%. So $8,000 is allocated to NVIDIA. So that's like 43 shares right now. You're not allowed to vote that. Why should they be allowed to vote it? I got a big problem with that. I don't think any of these companies should be allowed to vote the shares. That's just me. How do you feel about that?
I agree. Doesn't make if they don't own the shares, they're just the custodian of the shares, then that's voting on behalf of people that actually own the shares, which doesn't make sense.
No,
it's this whole institutional investor services glasshouse thing that recommends stuff like, I don't know. I agree with Elon. It's really stupid. And that's why the retail investor base is so important, as people who can actually make decisions in a more, not even like conclusive way, but just people that actually take the time to do the research about what's actually happening. But I think it's a nothing burger because he's going to get his compensation package.
Oh, no, I'm not saying because of that. I'm just saying in general, it just annoys the shit out of me that they are allowed to vote the shares. It's crazy.
But the thing is, how is that ever going to change, right? Like,
oh, no, it's not. I'm just saying it's something that irks me. And I've been saying it for a long time. And it just fucking pisses me off. All right, you ready for the meta rant?
All right, go for it.
I wrote a pretty big article today about it. It's coming out tomorrow, I think. So I went ballistic last night because of what happened. And I know that you covered it live. So keep me honest. Within a millisecond, it went freaking red. It probably went red before you were able to open up what the numbers were, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Here's where I have a huge problem with this. Because you, as somebody who is on top of the game, that immediately gets the information and covers it real time, you didn't even know what the numbers were, yet it was falling.
Yeah.
Algos and stop losses controlled this company yesterday and controlled it today. And last night, it was a freaking horrible thing that happened, in my opinion, because this happened before the earnings call happened and before anybody got a chance to read through the numbers. So automatically, people started thinking it was a horrible, horrible thing. Stop losses get triggered, magnified. It was down to 650 at one point. So if you're not familiar, yesterday after hours, Meta reported earnings. They missed on EPS by negative $5.66 and only produced $1.05 of EPS. They were expecting, I think, $6.75 or something like that. Big miss. Now, the problem is, and this is why I get very angry, 18.95 billion tax expenses, which increased more than 16.5 billion quarter over quarter because of a one-time charge. Now, the charge was because of a new U.S. law, and I'll get into exactly what Susan Lee said, but they didn't even look at the cash flow statement to see that while capex went up by 3 billion quarter over quarter to 19.85 billion, the cash from operations increased more than 4 billion quarter over quarter to 29.99 billion. So they actually increased the free cash flow by just over $1 billion quarter over quarter. And people are freaking out because of a tax charge. So what Susan Lee said on the earnings call was that this, and I'm paraphrasing because I don't have it up, this was a one-time charge that they are expecting is going to be beneficial in Q4 and every quarter going forward, and it's going to be a tailwind for earnings. They couldn't get around it. And this is why I always say, sometimes it doesn't necessarily matter what the net income or what the EPS is, because there could be unusual items, there could be tax implications that are one time. And to sell Meta off because of that, to me, is crazy. That's short-term money, that's traders, and it doesn't change the overall story. Now, in the earnings report, if you look at the slide deck, one of the other things is that I want to get the right numbers, so just give me 1 sec before I go down this rabbit hole. Over the past 2 years, since Q3 2023, Meta has generated 197 billion in income from operations, while Reality Labs has lost 39.29 billion. They've generated 158 billion in income from operations, with Reality Labs losing 40 billion in the past 2 years. People are worried Zuck is going to start spending like a drunken sailor again. Guess what? He's earned that right. He's earned that right. The company would have never been where it is today without Zuck. Sure, Reality Labs hasn't necessarily worked. Everything else that he's done has. He's created tremendous value for all shareholders. He's grown it to one of the most important companies we've ever seen. It's one of the biggest cash cows we've ever seen. And not every person gets every single thing right. And we still don't know if Reality Labs could turn around in 5 years or not. Remains to be seen. But I'd rather bet on Zuck than not bet on him. So that's my rant about Meta. I think last night was ridiculous. And it was just short-term money.
I don't disagree with any of that. I don't disagree with any of that. I think the $15 billion charge obviously got the algos to be upset. I think the street, though, is more upset. Like, the reason it tanked today and didn't recover is because of the quote-unquote notably larger increase of capex that Meta is planning to. I mean, it might be closer to 100. Like, this year it's 72 billion. Next year, the estimates are around 100. I saw some at 120.
And if it was just him, I'd have to question things. But it's not just him.
It's not just him.
They're all spending. Like, the brightest minds in the world are saying, this is what we need to do. It's not just one person.
Here's the thing, and Chris has talked about this a long time ago, but could Meta come up with a cloud? Like, why
would they want to?
It doesn't need to be as big as AWS, but why would they want to? Because they have all these data centers. They have all this demand for compute, as Lux was saying, is the only use case of AI for them advertising, which is fine. I have no issue with that. But I think the street's upset that there's only one stream of AI revenue.
I don't know that it's necessarily advertising.
What other stream of revenue is
I'm going to get there. So it wasn't just this earnings call, but over the past couple of earnings calls, it seems like he wants to create an AI package for creators. Also.
No, that's okay. Steve,
that's not part of advertising.
I think that's bullshit. I say this as a creator. It is objectively, what is he going to do for creators? That's going to
video editing. I don't know.
No, come on, bro. Like that. Like, I was listening to that on the call, and I was like, "What is he saying right now?" The only way that's going to help is it's going to allow creators on Facebook and Instagram to make.
You got a very special request, Amit, from Matty Money, friend of the channel. Please go follow Real Matt Money.
Well, I mean, Palantir. Yeah, I've the problem with Palantir is they don't spend on data centers, hardware, infrastructure. Right? They're a SaaS company. Meta is actually, and I don't think Palantir has the free cash flows to be able to commit that type of money. Meta does. And so my point is, the creators, if they build some type of tools that help creators create content on Facebook and Instagram, all that does is help more content come to the platforms that helps the advertisers better target their ads in front of that content. Same thing with the Vibes app, right? The Vibes app is a Sora clone, and the whole idea of it is AI-generated content. Guess what? When you swipe through the videos, the vibes, you get an ad. So the one thing I will give the Meta Bears is that they are right. There is not a single stream of revenue for this company that is being affected with AI besides advertising in a meaningful way. The glasses so far are a dud. Threads is just more ads, even though Threads is growing very nicely. But it'll be ads, right? So it's like they're going to use AI to make the ads better on at Threads. The LLM on Llama, I don't know who uses the Meta AI app realistically. And then WhatsApp is a fantastic asset, but again, they're going to monetize it via ads inside of WhatsApp for Business. So that's why my question is, why don't they come up with a cloud, even if it's like a $5 billion per year business? That's way better than Reality Labs.
I don't think that they should. Here's why. And I'm spitballing here. They're so far behind. Why allocate the resources to doing that when Amazon, Alphabet, and Microsoft are so far ahead. One, two, they don't have a product suite to lay on top of it. Now, I'm not saying Amazon does, but Alphabet and Microsoft have an entire product suite to lay on top of their cloud offerings. I think that they would be, if Meta did it, it would be sunk cost. I don't think it's a good investment.
What if
I
it's a
would
neo
rather-
cloud? What if it's like a Nebius competitor instead of a AWS competitor?
So now that's interesting. So if they use part of their data center to be hosting for that type of stuff, that I'm with. I'll give you that. I would be all in for that. Build that out and say we're going to spend $5 billion a year in building this out to support everything, and build their own CoreWeave or Nebius. I'm with it.
I don't think they need to do this, by the way. I'm just saying, I think they can become a multi-trillion-dollar company just off advertising. But
Yes.
that is the literal only thing they are using AI for. And
Yeah.
if they're the best advertiser on the planet, it might not matter, to be honest.
I think that what I want to see them do is create the next computing platform and weave in WhatsApp, weave in Llama as whatever you're going to talk to it to ask it questions, and build real glasses that have all these things built into it and really own the wearable segment. Is I do think that they can win in that. Maybe it's a couple years out, but they have the assets to win in that.
I think they can win. I'm still not a believer in this whole glasses thesis.
I know you're not. We'll get you there.
You and I were watching the demo together.
The fact that you couldn't get it to work was freaking horrible.
Yeah, I really don't think in 10 years glasses is going to be the biggest AI vertical. I have such a gut feeling about
time. I don't know that we're going to have smartphones in 10 years.
See, I disagree. I think the smartphone will be around pretty much. Look, I don't want to say for the rest of my life, but I think for the next couple of decades, the smartphone will be a thing. I really do.
I mean, it's just very hard for me to get on the bandwagon of we're not going to transcend screens in the next 10 years.
Why do we need to? Why do we need to?
Because innovation doesn't stop.
No, but what's innovative about transcending the screen and putting it on my glasses? Like it's still a screen. It's just in front of my eye. It's a shittier screen.
What if it doesn't have to be?
Okay, so then please give me whatever idea you think it's going to be some pendant around my neck that I'm going to talk to all day. Like,
no, like why can't my reading glasses and your reading glasses that you're using right now be able to serve as all these other things?
Because I think it's really stupid to just be staring into the sky and like searching on your glasses that don't have any of the compute technology that a phone has or a 6-inch screen has. And then when you're sitting down with someone, you're like staring at them and they're staring at you, but you're searching. I just think it's stupid. I don't think it makes sense.
We'll see what happens. Brain chips are next.
There's a reason the Vision Pro failed. And there's a reason the only value of Quest is in gaming. Like there is not, it's been 5 years of this VR AR stuff. None of it is taken off in a commercial.
Are you, speaking of gaming, are you playing GTA 6 with us?
I don't really play video games, so.
Neither do I, but I mean, we're gonna get the whole gang together to play GTA 6.
Yeah, I'm probably not gonna do that.
Everybody in the community we're gonna invite.
I'll watch you guys play it, but
Matt and I are gonna take off from work to play.
You should. I'll watch that stream. I just don't play it, dude. I don't like sit with a controller. Like I haven't done that in 10 years. I don't know how to
Take two. I can't get my brain around their valuation to invest, even though I know GTA 6 is gonna be the biggest game ever.
The only game I play online is live chess. I like playing chess. Do you know how to play chess, Steve? Do you play chess?
I do.
We should play one day. It'll be fun.
Okay. I haven't played in a long time. I know how to play.
Dude, can we play on stream? Is there a way to do that? Do you remember how to play or no?
Yeah, of course.
Dude, guys, is there a way that we could actually like set up a game?
I mean, I think we'd both have to create an account at chess.com and figure out how to play a private game.
Challenge a friend. Standard.
That's probably the only way to do it. We have to both create an account and log in.
Yeah, I don't know how to do this shit. All right, we'll figure it out eventually. We'll do it.
The real question is, do you play Gin Rummy?
No. I've never played that. We should play Among Us. Dude, that game, I feel like it had its 15 minutes of fame. And then it kind of died out.
But yeah. So what moves are we making? I mean, I bought more BMR, I bought more Ethereum, and I bought more QXO today.
You got to tell people why you like QXO. Everyone's been asking.
I made a private video for the Milk Gang. In a couple of days, I'll do a deep dive. I think Chris and I are going to do it on Monday night. So that'll be like the real public deep dive. But I haven't gone through Q2 earnings that just came out. So I'm sorry, Q3. So I got to go through it.
I think, look, we're getting into the end of the year, last 2 months. I'm only attracted if there's like a meaningful dip. I think Meta is starting to become attractive, but Amazon was attractive for the past month. I have been buying Palantir. I have been buying more, and we're going to see what happens on earnings and if they can hold above 200. Hood, I think, can get back to 150 if they have a really good Q3. But we're going to have to see. I don't know if there's any crazy opportunity. I mean, we're at all-time highs, right? So what are the crazy opportunities?
Yeah, I don't know that there's any crazy opportunities. I think that there's opportunities, but you know what? This is also another reason just to buy the index.
Yes. Yeah.
I think, if I could leave anybody with this, I think that's why I'm able to sit in a position of I don't care, because I've been putting into an S&P index fund for a long time, and it's my safety net. It's my backstop. So I could blow up my regular accounts, and because I'm putting into the S&P 500 every 2 weeks, it allows me a little bit of leeway where when things get really bad, my legs don't get chopped out from under me.
I think that's the other thing with BMR. I think people have spent a lot of money on it thinking it's the next big thing without that safety, as you're saying, with just the S&P. I love when you always say this. It's like once you have that safety, and Matt says this all the time, whatever money you lose outside of that safety is kind of whatever, because you have something else there. And it's like, if you're going to get into that game where you're going to forget the safe stuff, which is what I did over the past 2 years, by the way. I said, screw the safe shit. I'm going risk on. I know what it felt like.
What you did, you deserve all the reward for what you did, because you took a shitload of risk.
It changed my life. Completely changed my life. I didn't Palantir. But I remember 2024, the like anxiety of just getting through a day, knowing that you're loaded up with options. One thing could happen, another thing could happen, and then August 5th, yen carry trade, then Robin missed in Q3. Like, there's so many things that could happen. But I went through that and thankfully made it on the other side. For BMR, it's the same thing. If you are loaded up on it, you have to be embracing the nature of that volatility. And if you don't want to, then as Steve said, get rid of 90% of it, keep 10% of it, put that other 90% into something safer. But don't complain about it when you if I lost all my money in hood options in 24, that's me. That's not Vlad's fault. It's my fault. So it's like you just gotta be ready to embrace it.
Yeah, I mean, look, conviction's a great thing. A lot of people go bust because of it. A lot of people make a lot of money because of it. But you know what? We're all adults, and my strategy is different than Amit's. He has a higher ROI in the past year or two because he took a lot of risk. I didn't.
But you're also older than me, so you should have a different risk.
I mean, but look, I'm able to sleep every night like a baby when I actually fall asleep with how my money's invested.
Why does it take you so long to fall asleep?
Dude, I've always been like this.
So what, you sleep at like 1 a.m. every night, 12 a.m.?
I've always been like this. When I was in my late teens, early 20s, I used to sleep 3-4 hours a night.
Do you still sleep 3-4 hours or like 5-6?
No, I need like 6 to 7 now.
But like, how do you fall asleep with like something playing in the back? Because usually
I need an AC on, or like some type of white noise on, something.
Me too.
I need it. But I can't fall asleep immediately. Like, I don't know. I've always been like that, where like when I was younger, I used to go to bed at 1-2 in the morning, be at work by 6:37.
What did you say that triggered the 6-7? Oh, the 6-7 hours.
Oh god.
Bro, you wanna see this? This shit is getting stupid, bro.
What, the Halloween costume of
Dictionary.com.
7? I don't even know what it
Dictionary.com.
means. What does it mean?
I don't know either. It's this stupid thing that the kids these days have
Why is
popularized.
it because LaMelo Ball 6'7"? Is that where it stemmed from?
No, I really I don't know the etymology of this dumbass statement. But
I
it's
think it was
taken
about
over.
LaMelo Ball.
Oh yeah, look at this tweet by Sam Altman. Look at this shit, bro. Like, this is how stupid our world has become. But it's also the power of memes and why it's important to embrace them,
People love memes.
especially when you're doing content. Look, share this. GPT-6 will be renamed to GPT-6-7. You're welcome.
Oh, freaking Altman. If Altman does that, I'll sign up to ChatGPT and I'll pay him $20 a month.
Bro, are you buying the OpenAI IPO in 27?
Is it really going to IPO in 27?
They're trying to raise $62 billion at $1 trillion.
I mean, how do you not buy it?
So you're going to buy it?
How do you not?
So you're buying the OpenAI IPO. That's what you're saying.
I'm just saying, even if it's $1 trillion IPO, I mean,
$1 trillion IPO, bro.
How do you not buy it? Right?
You're going to be exit liquidity for some guy who got in at 100 billion. Like,
But here's the thing: if OpenAI goes to 5 trillion at some point, doesn't matter.
no, it does. It's a 5x, but like,
Right.
I'm just saying it's a lot of work to get the 5x.
I'm still annoyed that I didn't buy SpaceX when I had the opportunity to. I hated the way that it was presented to me, though.
Well, to be fair, a lot of those SPVs are scams.
Yeah.
Like, Sachin got into a big fight with one of them who he almost lost his entire SpaceX allocation because a lot of these guys don't actually know the guy who knows the guy who has the shares. A lot of them are full of shit. So you got to be really careful with.
Yeah, I'm not going to say the name of the company, but it was a legit company. I spoke with them on the phone. I went over everything. I know people that have used them, but they wanted it was some crazy fee where
Of course, they always want a crazy fee.
they took 15 or 20% of the profit or something like that when it IPOs. It was just like, do I really? And at the time, this was 3-4 years ago at this point. So SpaceX wasn't what it was today. And I'm like, I don't know. And I passed.
But the thing about these investments is that even with their fees or whatever, they like if they're really good companies, they pay for it. So I just invested in 2 startups. I put 10K into 2 of them. One of them is going to come on the channel in like 2 weeks because they're going to officially announce their funding round. And this is a guy who I told you about him. He I did debate with him back in high school. And it's a really interesting finance product. I think people will be interested in it, but I don't know how they're going to compete against Robinhood and Coinbase. I'm literally just betting on the idea and like the team. They have a really good team, really good VCs, but if it works, like that 10K, who knows what it becomes, but if it doesn't, it's like whatever. So I feel like but you get to be on the cap table. I'm going directly there, not through some middleman, which helps.
Interesting.
It's not Mateo's company, although I did invest in that one too. But this is a different friend. But they're growing like crazy, bro. Like he texted me some stats the other night. I was like, what the? Like they're going like kind of viral. Like they have a 20x growth in the past week, 2,000%.
Did you see the new stuff from Andril? Did you see the new freaking drone from them?
No, but I heard about it. Is there a video?
Insane. There's no video. I saw it on X. It's insane. I wish I was able. I invested in them.
Yeah, I had a chance to invest in them, but I didn't a year ago. And the reason I didn't is because I was like, well, they're a defense contractor. Their margins are not going to be good. And I'd rather have that 25,000 in Robinhood options instead of.
Which wasn't a bad move.
which actually in the short term was a way better move. Like, look, I really like Andro. I think it'll be a great company, but I know people who work in Andro. I've spoken to like close friends in Andro. One of them, Chris, knows very well also. And like, dude, their margins are not the best. Like,
you know what, Venom? You are correct. I forgot. Admit, if you want indirect, buy BST.
What's BST?
Didn't I tell you about this? No?
BlackRock Science and Technology. No.
I'm bringing it up. Maybe I didn't tell you about this. I swear I did. So it's
Maybe
a closed-end fund. They pay you 7%. And Andrel's Series F is their 8th largest holding, along with Databricks number 10.
Yeah. Why is this attractive at all?
To me, because I'm getting paid. I mean, I own it at like 32, 33, my price average, and I'm just getting paid a big distribution that I'm plowing back in, big tech, and I got private company exposure through it.
Well, the big tech stuff doesn't matter because that's NASDAQ. The private company stuff, they have them at the worst valuations. The Series F, that's the latest funding round. Like,
yeah, it's still better than what I have now privately, which is nothing.
I don't know, dude. These names that try to say you have exposure to Andro, like,
I mean, if you can't trust BlackRock, who can you trust in it?
no, it's not that you can't. No, I'm not saying to trust. I'm just saying, why wouldn't everyone pile into this shit if they were the Andro ETF?
You probably don't know. Closed-end funds are not freaking. Most people don't even know what a closed-end fund is.
I don't know what a closed-end fund is. Can you explain
And
what
you
exactly?
follow the market every day.
Yeah. So what is it? Explain it to
It's
me.
basically the same thing as an ETF, but there's a fixed number of shares at the IPO that can't be expanded.
But these companies are already public.
The closed-end fund is the same thing as this ETF, where the IPO is a certain amount of money, they buy the stocks, and then you buy shares in it. They don't expand as more money comes in. Their shares just trade.
So they have shares. They own Meta, and they're never adding more to their Meta.
Oh, they make moves inside and out, but what I'm saying is BST may only have 1 million shares available on the market, whatever the number is. Whereas an IVV or an SPY, their number of shares expand all the time as more money comes in. When more money comes into this, you're just buying and selling shares with the other person on the other side. Like as a closed-end fund, it's closed. They're not expanding the share count.
So that's why Robin had said we are now introducing closed-end funds. Oh, so BST looks like this probably just came on Hood.
And they used, and a lot of them use leverage to write covered calls. Like there's all mechanics behind it too. They trade it off of a NAV. So
wait, so you're saying that theoretically there's only 1 million shares of BST, theoretically?
The volume of BST today was 120,000. I have no idea how many shares there are, but what I can tell you is it has been trading at a discount to NAV. I'm going to go to their website real quick.
There's a 1.08% expense ratio, though.
Pre-distribution. Pre-distribution. What do you care? So right now you're going to get it at a 5.5% discount to the NAV. So the share price is under the net asset value of all the assets on the balance sheet. And you're getting paid close to 7% on the distribution. That 1.5% expense ratio you never see. That's before they pay you out your quarterly distribution. You're getting paid 75 cents a quarter. You're getting paid $3 a year per share.
Someone said for every 1,000 you buy of this, you're getting $26 of exposure to Andro.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't done that.
If that's actually the number, then I don't know why I would buy this, dude.
Yeah, I'm just saying. I don't know what the number or exposure of what Andro is. It's just a fund I've been in for a while. I'm doing well on it. And I was buying it when the distribution was 11% and just plowing it back in.
Yeah, I mean, look, if you got an early, it makes sense. But if I'm buying it for the only reason that it's attractive is the private stuff. The other stuff you just
I'm just saying it's one of the few CEFs I know of that has the private placements of Andro and Databricks.
No, I get that, but if you're only getting $26 of exposure for every 1,000 of Androl, then what's the point of it?
I mean, I've never ran the number, so I have no idea what the exposure is.
Okay, but if it was $20, would you be interested?
Yeah, it's still more than what I have now. Plus, I want all the other names anyway. And it's on the income side of my portfolio, and the distribution's great.
And how do they give you the distribution? That's 7% yield?
So they run a call option strategy. They do a little leverage. They run a call option strategy, and they collect the dividends from the stuff that pays the dividend, collect the premiums, and then pay out the distribution. Check this out. So they have a very long history of paying. I actually have the numbers somewhere. The distribution has only grown. Now they have a couple of special distributions, but it's only grown and it's generated a ton of income.
Yeah, I mean, look, there's other covered call ETFs.
Yeah, there's a lot of them.
As I'm saying, so paying the 1% fee to get a 7% distribution that another fund can do, because they can't run calls on Androl. So you're literally only buying it at that point for the private placement, because otherwise you can replicate what they're doing with a way cheaper expense ratio anywhere else.
So here are the numbers from, I think, last month. Since inception, this is from my article. I ran all the math. The article was published October 3rd, so earlier this month. So here's the income. Since inception, BST has generated $26.61 in distribution income as their initial monthly distribution of 10 cents increased by 125 cents to 25 cents. And long-term investors were able to pay $20 for shares of BST at inception. They generated 133% of their capital from the distributions. So investors got an additional $21.66 in capital appreciation, in addition to the $26.61 in distributions. So it's just one of those things where I think it's going to continue to do good and keep paying me. And I want a little bit of diversity. And on the income side, I really like it.
So let's ask the real question.
Yeah.
Are you buying Grab before earnings?
Dude.
Dude, just buy 1,000 shares, bro. I don't get why you can't just buy a freaking 1,000 shares. What if it gaps up to 7 on Monday?
When's earnings?
Monday. 7:30. I don't think it's going to 7. I think it'll be a good quarter. Who knows what it goes to? I don't think it's going back down to low 5s. We're going to see. I have no freaking clue. But, like, I think we got to get you some skin in the game here.
I mean, for the amount that you freaking talked about this company, I don't know why I'm going to doubt you at this point.
Look, I could still be wrong, but it's beating the S&P. It's up 25% this year. I think the fair value is closer to 850. I've looked at like 7 different DCFs from different people. Mm-hmm. And I'm just like, and I played with the discount rates. I'm just like, okay, this still comes down to like 780 to 850 fair value, fair intrinsic value. So I don't think the numbers are wrong on it. I just think they've got to have one of those quarters that like slams the door and says, hey, we're here.
I mean, I hope it does really freaking well.
Management's been embracing media very heavily, dude. Very heavily. I mean, they've never embraced media the way they've embraced media. So I don't know. We're going to see on Monday, but it would be exciting.
Yeah, I mean, look, I hope it does really well. It's not, I don't really like stuff outside of the U.S. I'll think about it.
That means he's not buying this shit. He's not even touching it.
I'll think about it. Oh man, they're saying I'm going to be your exit liquidity on Grab.
Just say if you start FOMOing at 750, you might be buying my shares from 480, dude. You might be.
All right, it's 11:24, 6 minutes, and then let's wrap. What do you want to get off your chest? Anything?
Has a sell order for 1,000, just waiting for Steve.
Chef Mike, thank you so much. Appreciate it. I guess I have to, if Chef Mike's trying to get me into it, Chef Mike and Amit, I mean, I guess I got to do it, right? I guess I'm
I
buying
just
gas
think
tomorrow.
by end of next year, this is $10.
Thank you so much, Eggs and Tacos. Really appreciate it. Milkman in the stream addict.
It's $6 right now. In a year, if it's 10, that's a good return.
This is a good point from Chef Mike. Did you know that the Chef Mike was an executive chef at the Ritz-Carlton for 15 years?
I didn't know that. That's incredible.
Freaking very interesting. He got into it. He was very interesting on the stream with Chef Paul.
Oh, he joined.
This is a great point. He listened to it and was commenting a lot. This is really right. MSTR crashed every year also, and that's when crypto was almost illegal. How about this one? Don't you love seeing stuff like this? I just like seeing people do well.
Thanks to you guys. I used all my savings to buy Amazon today before earnings and ready with it. Wow. Yeah, dude, I think Amazon was a very big collective win for the entire
I like seeing
our YouTube community. We all were on this side of Amazon.
Thank you so much. Thank you for the new members. Truly appreciate it. Really appreciate it. I know, Matt. They want me to pitch you Verizon. I'm not going to do it.
I heard yours and Chris' episode. I'm not. I don't have a problem with Verizon. I think so. On Robinhood, I'm going to create a
look at this guy. Alex needs to come on again one of these nights. Look at this guy.
Alex is part of the hardest working guys.
Oh, yeah. I went into his stream before ours, and he was freaking killing it, ripping cards. If you guys aren't following Nostalgianomics, and you actually want to really learn about alternative assets, go follow Alex.
Speaking of putting in the work, right? I was listening to a interview with Michael Jordan yesterday. They put out a new clip of
Spencer. Thank you so much. Sorry, man. When blueberry milk. You know what? That's a good idea, Spencer. Blueberry milk. That's a good idea. I like it.
That sounds disgusting, bro.
Sounds amazing, Amit. All right, go on with Jordan.
Basically, I asked him about load management. Right. And load management, for those that don't know, is like this idea of basketball players taking days off. And he started laughing. And he was like, he was like, I want to go to work. I want to entertain, and I want to prove myself. And I think, that's the approach I take with streaming. And I think that's the approach you're taking as well, which is just people show up and they want the show. That's how Jordan was talking about it. He's like, if this kid paid for a ticket to be in the back of the row to see Michael Jordan play, you got to show up, you got to play, you got to do your job, unless you literally physically can't. And so I take that seriously. If people expect the content, they want the content, they have it part of their routine, then you got to show up, you got to work.
And Jordan was
sometimes that means you're gonna have sacrifices.
Jordan used to play a round of golf, and sometimes he would play 2 rounds before a game. Yeah, the guy was an animal.
Yeah, and that's why when I took last Friday off last week, it was annoying me all weekend. But I really physically, I was like,
no, you had a legitimate reason to do it.
Yeah, but if it's a bullshit reason because you feel bad, not like you're actually sick, but you feel bad. It's like, no, bro. He's like, you got to go out and work.
Yeah, look, I took the day off because I have so much vacation time because I haven't taken days off this year. And what did I do today? I streamed in the morning with Amit, freaking did an afternoon stream, wrote an article. Or no, I didn't stream in the morning. I streamed in the afternoon with Amit, did an afternoon stream. I wrote an article, and now we're doing this.
Dude, I remember October 2023 when I was in Vegas. We had drank all night. That's when I went with Chris and everybody. And I had not slept the whole night. And we still did SoFi earnings live that day. Around this time, 2 years ago, me and Chris, we were on the stream together in the Airbnb. And that's when SoFi was like $7 and we covered their earnings. And I was probably drunk and sleep deprived, but it was SoFi earnings. So you had to get up and do it. So it's like sometimes you just got to do it.
Sometimes you just
But
gotta do it.
the nuance here is that like if Jordan is going to further hurt himself or he can't physically perform, there's no point of doing it. It's like if you can't actually give the show like physically, then you shouldn't, because you don't want to put out a bad product. But like it goes back to like this idea of just like if you really, you know, this is the nature of the companies we invest in. Sucks, Jassy, Elon. These guys are working their asses off to bring something into the world that is worth investing in. And that's why when they fall 10 or 12%, you're like, dude, these are rock stars. Street is stupid. Like, these are not companies to bet against.
And if you're up 500% on something and something goes down 20%, do you really care?
No.
I mean, yeah, we all want to see a bigger number in the portfolio, but I mean, at some point you got to be ready for downturns.
Yeah, and it's normal. It's natural. It's part of the game, and
Yeah,
you got to go through it. All right, we're out.
We'll call it.
Yeah.
Thank you, everybody, for coming. Appreciate it. Please follow Amit and join his stream in the morning.
Dude, tomorrow's Friday. We're done with the week. What a week this has been. This has been a wild week. It's crazy, bro. All of us as investors just getting through every week and dealing
I'm going
with
to the Saturday night stream is canceled for me.
Why?
Because we are moving FinTech Frenzy to Saturday night.
Oh yeah.
And there's going to be a special guest, so I will be doing that. The Saturday night stream will be tomorrow night for Halloween, and we will. I don't know who's going to come on. We'll figure it out. But tomorrow night at 9 or 9:30, I will be throwing the bat signal out, and we'll be streaming tomorrow night. So Friday night, either with Steve or with Steve and the boys. We'll see what happens.
We're probably going to
convince Alex to come on. Who knows? I mean, Alex is still here. I'll send you a text, but if you want to come on tomorrow night, you're more than welcome, Alex. I know you probably can't because you have a stream.
We're doing Pouncer Weekly tomorrow at 11 p.m. as well, because we have earnings coming up. So we'll be doing that tomorrow. Yeah, that makes sense. Are you dressing up? Because I'm not dressing up.
No, I was gonna go get a freaking milkman costume, but I did not have time to go to the freaking Halloween store.
That's what I'm saying, dude. Like, I've been so busy this week with every single earnings. Like, there's no way I could have planned an outfit. So I'm just like, all right, I don't have an outfit.
I bet you if I went on Amazon, I could have it delivered to me for tomorrow.
That's fair. That's fair. You could.
But
you could.
Yeah, no, I'm not dressing up, but I will be doing some stream tomorrow. I got a couple of rants, and we'll see who wants to come on and talk some stocks. But
wait, so you're staying home tomorrow again?
No, I'm talking tomorrow night.
Oh, tomorrow night. Okay.
Dude, I don't even want to look at my email. I am so scared to go to the office tomorrow and type in my freaking password because I'm probably gonna have 400 or 500 emails I gotta read, and I don't know how I'm gonna get through everything because I got so many meetings tomorrow. I just got to do it.
Gotta work.
As fun as it is to take a day off, the real reason I don't take days off is because I hate falling behind on email. I hate it.
Yeah, I mean, I hate the vibe of not showing up to work. Like, it just feels internally like, you know, and I think you've been that's why you take so many few days off, because like you have the routine, you're consistent, you just do it. That's the one thing I learned from my dad. It's like, you just do it no matter what.
Yeah.
So it's important.
I mean, I've been doing it since 14. You know what I mean? Like, started caddying when I was younger. And I think that people, look at me like I'm crazy because I don't take time off. And I am starting to now because it's the end of the year and I'm going to lose so much time. And I always say, like, I don't think you guys realize that when you're in the golf business, like, you work 30, 40 days straight sometimes.
Yep.
Like in the summer, you don't get holidays off. You don't get weekends off. So there you have it.
All right. Thank you, everybody. We'll all be back tomorrow.
See everyone later. Appreciate you showing up. Go watch a midstream tomorrow morning. And if I see you tomorrow night, I will truly appreciate it. Have a great night, everyone. Drink some milk.
Later.